Good morning once again, everyone. Let's move on to the last topic of the Unit 2, which is 18 challenges in contemporary literature by Michael Bruce Sterling. So, notable American author Michael Bruce Sterling outlined 18 challenges facing contemporary literature. So, si Michael Bruce Sterling ay such an author, specifically science fiction author, he is famous in his novels and fiction. And now let's discuss the 18 challenges facing contemporary literature. So the first one, everyone can hear it. First one.
Literature is language-based and national. Contemporary is globalizing and polyglot.
Okay, thank you so much for that. We all know that literature, so particularly the traditional literature is focused on a specific language, right? So it can limit its reach while it's now a globalizing world where people are exposed to different languages, multiple languages, and different cultures. So a culture could mo-adapt siya. So when this happens, for example, there are many literary pieces that now being adapted into films, right? The masterpieces that now being adapted into films. So one key issue of this is the translation. The translation of the movies or the literary pieces, it needs to become international to reach a wider audience. So the issue there is a translation because sometimes the translation of the movies can be really not accurate or inawalan nila or reduce into their most basic form, which may lead to the changes in the narratives and also makahimo siya confusion among people who, for example, who previously read the literary piece. So the next one is the vernacular means of everyday communication. Cell phones, social networks, streaming video are moving into areas where people cannot follow. We all know that contemporary literature are now nag-undergo production to drastic change para maka-adapt nila in the globalized world. So printed works are now being converted into digitalized formats. So natin mga we can access in, for example, sa mga e-books or Wattpads, right? Familiar na mga na. So and that happens also, people are so much preferring to watching or listening rather than reading. So mag-enjoy or reading comprehension of people. So it is an issue because people are so much preferred to digitalized formats. And sa akong mag-iingon sa e-books or Wattpads, one of the issues, at least people mas prefer na nila mga digital works. And third is intellectual property system theory. So basically means mga piracy or unauthorized duplicated copyright content. Diba? Mga owners are not able to protect their works. Diba? They are really, for example, works are now being uploaded to different social media platforms, right? Mga i-own talaga siya illegally among people. For example, movies, right? Pirated movies, di ba? Gusto na kayo na siya mga piracy sa mga movies. There are also applications if we are very familiar with this one. Pili-pili or duklok na yung mga di-upload there mga movies are pirated. But also we are so much prepared for that than making for example, ticket para makalala tayo sa URL. So, it is also an issue. One thing issue there is that ang mga taong magsuno, mga illegally owned. So, for example, ikinahimo ko nila negosyo. For example, there are many intellectual property system failing. So, piracy, di ba? Kung sir na bahala. So, pinahimo ko siya business sa mga people na legally own nila. Ina-upload ko nila sa sites where people like, subscribe sila. Although, mag-attract ang people pero much lesser money lang nilagas doon. For example, may Telegram, there are many pirated movies na ina-upload sa Telegram where people, kung makasubscribe na sila na siya, lifetime na access. So, there are many pirated movies na access na nila lifetime when they are, when they subscribe to the channel. So, first one, kindly everyone. Everyone kindly read the fourth one.
Means of book promotion, distribution, and retail stabilized.
So it is one of the issue in contemporary literature, especially those in shops so only sells book. It is not surprising that ang internet maka-affect siya sa in promotion, distribution, and retail, especially sa shops so only sells book, right? Because maka-affect siya because it's like what I said, ang people or ang printed books are now being neglected. So people or the promotion of promotion of mga actual books na for example sa mga shops na wala na nila actually nakaalis sa mga book, people are much preferred na sa mga digitalized format. So it is one of the issue kaya but prefer na sila sa digital form. Wala na kayo na hindi na kayo maka-promotion sa mga books. Although maapektuhan na itong mga actual shops pero they can also bring mga content nila sa online if they upload their works online. The next is ink on paper manufacturing is outmoded, toxic industry is rising because ink on paper manufacturing means that ang mga printed works, so ang printed works diba is naka-face na siya rising cost, raw layout, it is not very environmentally sustainable. Nakakuha na siya ng environmental problems because ang mga printed works like papers are made out of space lights. So it can cause deforestation or pollution can affect in our environment. So when that happens also, when there are no enough resources for printed works, wala po nila it becomes expensive ang mga printed works. At the same time, it is not very environmentally sustainable. And the next one is core demographic for printed media is aging faster than the general population. Failure of print newspaper is disenfranchising young writers. So core demographic for printed media is aging faster. That means that ang mga consumers dito sa printed works or printed media are much older na. They are mas aging faster na sila. Ang mga consumers dito, they were only purchased by the older generations because our younger generations are so much different from the mga digital first. That's issue there. So the next one is media conglomerates have poor business model, economically rationalized, culture industry is actively hostile to vital aspects of human culture. That means is it is not hindi siya maka-English siya kung human culture, nakaka-affect siya sa values ng people. Media are diba, especially sa mga younger generations, they are so much exposed to not suitable content, right? There are many content, for example, in the internet that are not suitable for their age. That is a problem. They are much exposed to things that are not appropriate. Next is long-tail balkanized audiences, disrupt means of canon building and fragments literary institution. As what I understand it, balkanizes or balkanization is the division. Balkanization, as what I researched, is the division of people based on their interests. Nag-focus ka sila on things that can hook their interest or their preferences. So for example, literary piece in the internet, we can observe also there are some Facebook community, groups, right, where people has the same preferences or the rest. So if that happens also, there is no unity. For example, ang literary pieces, kaya although occasion popularity on that certain group, but it struggled to break out on that certain niche interest, kaya hindi man siya moving on popularity on the majority population. Dito lang siya sa mga tao who reads what they want to read. Dito lang siya moving on popularity. Next is digital public domain transfers traditional literary heritage into a huge, cost-free, portable, searchable database, radically transforming the reader's relationship to the reader. So it basically means that while ang mga literary pieces or literary works are easy to access, accessible, searchable on the internet and social media platforms, but perhaps ina-undervalue siya. That is contemporary literature not confronting issues of general urgency. Dominant bestsellers are in former niche genres such as fantasies, romances, and teen books. So, contemporary literature na today's generation, kahit hindi na siya confront suicidal issues, economic issues, political issues. Why? It's because niche genres kaya mas mapatok pa siya, especially sa younger generations kaya our younger generations are different to things that can be after interest, that is their interest, creative imagination, and also one of the issues that is highly marketable among people. Those kind of genres, fantasies, romances, and books. The next one is barriers to publication entry have crashing and F-language story of sub-literary, non-literary textual expression. It means that everyone now can become a writer, right? Become a producer. So in today, everyone, mga genres are revolved on the same idea. Like, same na lang tayo lang flow sa mga master, especially if you're familiar ka na. Yeah, start. Pero revolved na lang siya ito sa ideas na lang, for example, story, ay mga problem, mag-isip na po siya. Mag-revolve na lang siya sa mga ideas, wala na siya literary textual expression na lang siya. Next is algorithms and social media placing work of editors and publishing houses that work socially generated text replacing individually authored text. That means that, for example, there are many AI technologies now, AI tools because of advancement of technology, threatened na lang ang mga editors or ang mga writers because it can replace their work. There are many AI tools that can just mag-type na kanila, mapati mo na rin siya, for example, mag-type mo kanila story, dahil na kayo siya yung AI tools. Problem talaga siya, it's because the advancement of technology in today's generation. The next is convergence culture, obliterating former distinctions between media, books becoming one minor aspects of human speed, blog, comics, games, and etc. So now we are exposed on a different platforms, different social media platforms. There is no clear distinctions na between it's either books ba siya, comics, or blog na siya. It's because naipon na daw siya tanan where people can access sa literary books. But wala na daw siya clear distinctions because naipon na siya a one multimedia franchise. 14 is unstable computer and cell phone interfaces become world's primary means of cultural access. Compositor systems make media in their own way hybrid media consumption. Since akong A1 kanina, the way we people access culture or on kung ano lang siya, in social media na lang siya. So, dili na kung kakita mo kung ano yung pasok sa dito niya or access ko sa mga library or unsa. We are so much preferred na in a digitalized format where in internet also we can easily access, search up na siya. 15 is scholars step within the disciplines becoming cross-lead, jack of all trades, virtual intellectual. So that means that there are many scholars or academic are now spread na dito sila widely. So virtual intellectual, that means that they are make them generalistic now. So they are more focused on so much things na bitaw. That means that they are hindi na sila nag-focus into one specific area na lang because that makes them more generalist focus on something. Next is academic education system suffering severe bubble inflation. So it's all about the educational system failing where ang credentials na siya kay diminishing na lang ang mga academic credentials because of the oversupply of the degrees. For example, practical skills are now being wala na kayo siya equal because of sa mga credentials, focus na siya yung academic credentials. For example, sa mga practical skills. Is polarizing civil cold war is harmful to intellectual honesty as what I've understood. People or our society or polarizing civil cold war, they are threatened na bitaw na open up na lang into an honest discussion without taking one side or confront into another because they are afraid to start a debate or to start an issue about certain societal issues. So, people na lang run kay they are afraid to open up an honest and open discussion among each other. And lastly is the voltaic fate of poor stained poetry is the specter at this dwindling feast. So, it was like metaphorical expression, right? So, based on my understanding, guys, it's about poetry. Poetry, di ba, before, kaya once ilog na, or part na literature. Pero karon guys, wala lang siya, neglect na lang siya sa mga tao, hindi na kayo itaw. Kuhan, ang popular ng poetry. Like before na poetry is, it's a way of expressing your emotions and expressing your thoughts and want to storya. Ginani mo iba in a way of being a poem. But now, ano lang siya, bragging, forgotten na lang siya or ghost na lang siya among people. Unlike sa that's